the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
In those spots, because I think Alabama's going to challenge these young Tennessee linebackers on Saturday. So I don't know. I think maybe in the short term moment, you'll notice the absence of Pili on Saturday against Alabama. But by and large, the leadership and everything else, like Ryan, to your point, he just seems like a great dude that he'd be awesome to bring on as a GA going forward. He's someone that you would like to find a place for if he's up for it and coaching and all that kind of stuff. It's like, hey, can we find a way to get Keenan Pili back in the staff of some sort, because he's just solid, good dude, and hope for the full recovery for Pili. Final thing here before we get out of here tonight, guys. We talked about it, the Vols offense versus the Bama's defense. Right now, Ryan Schumpert, we're taping this on a Monday night. Does your gut say that Tennessee's offense wins the battle against Bama's defense on Saturday, and what you've seen from Bama's defense the last 2 weeks with Vanderbilt and South Carolina? Or does your gut say that right now Bama's defense is what ultimately wins out over Tennessee's offense?
What's the barrier for winning out?
I think
points or just vibes in it.
It's let's go. You said I'm a vibes guy on this podcast. Let's say the vibes. Like the vibes are Alabama's pass defense did enough against Tennessee's pass offense.
Yeah, I'm siding with Alabama. That's my thought. It's like what you said. We're so Tennessee centric and so locked into it, and me more so than probably either of y'all, because y'all will get to watch a lot more games on Saturdays than I do, and I did get to watch a decent bit of Alabama game, but it's not like I watched a ton of the Vanderbilt game. So I'll lead with Alabama. But what I will say, something that's very interesting. I talked to Nick Kelly of Alabama.com earlier today for that weekly story we'll have on Wednesday, and sidebar, probably no one's really going to care about that on this program. I imagine most everybody's Tennessee fans. Nick Kelly, one of the absolute best in the business. Incredibly talented dude. I think he just does a phenomenal job covering Alabama football and basketball. He picked Tennessee to win. I thought that was really interesting. And again, it's a Monday prediction. Maybe and he kind of said, it's early. But I think that shows to what you said earlier, Chase, of like neither team really having a good feel, to where he was like, yeah, I just watched Alabama these last 2 weeks and I watched those games. I'm like, I think they're going to lose to Tennessee. And then Tennessee plays and I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Yeah. And then he's like, I still side. And I think he had Tennessee scoring like 30, 31 points. So
I think they're going to have to score that to win. Like, I don't think there's a choice. Yeah.
Most 90% of the scenarios where Tennessee wins, they're going to have to score, 28, 30 plus. So again, my answer is no. I would side with Alabama's defense, but I think that's probably pretty locked into me being so Tennessee centric and seeing how bad Tennessee's pass offense has been really against anybody with a pulse this season.
Yeah, I think what it is, like you said, Ryan, you're so immersed into one team that after you watch 2 consecutive train wrecks, you have and you're like, I can't pick this team to win a game against the top 10 squad. Like, heck no, don't care where it is. So, and with Nick obviously being on the road adds another element to it all, but it's hard to pick Tennessee to win a game against a team that has a lot of talent. And say what you will about Alabama, but they still have a lot of talent, still beat Georgia. Given their offensive performance last 2 weeks, it's hard to say that team can win a game like this, and Alabama the same defensively. I would also side with Alabama's defense. I don't think they played just absolutely awful against South Carolina. It was a really weird game, and they honestly, Lenore Sellers couldn't get out of his way a couple of times, and it was pretty embarrassing at a couple of instances, but Alabama did force some turnovers, and they did make some things happen. I don't think it was just completely awful like it was against Vanderbilt. So they showed improvements. I honestly worry about Milroe falling flat and making a bunch of mistakes, and Tennessee defense dominating, or I guess it would be a worry for Bama, right? So this Tennessee defense dominating Bama's offense more than Tennessee's offense struggling against Bama's defense. Like, I think the gap could be larger in Tennessee's favor when their defense is on the field than when its offense is on the field against Bama's D, if that makes sense.
Maybe I'm crazy, but my gut is I think this is the best passing game we see this season from Tennessee. My gut is it's not gonna be Alabama Tennessee 2022.
Wow.
You don't say.
I don't think it's gonna be that.
You're telling me this now for the first time.
I I think this Bama secondary is bad. I think the Bama secondary is gettable. I think this Bama defense has real problems. It's not going to get fixed in the middle of the year. I think this is going to be. It's so funny because I've already started thinking about like Saturday night and the Tony Basilio fifth quarter calls after this game because it was pretty brutal. There was like a huge split where there was like the fan base who was really mad at the other part of the Vol fan base. And comment below which way you fall on this because I'm curious what the Chase Thomas podcast listeners fall here in terms of how they felt with the win over Florida, where it's like there's a portion who's like, enjoy it. We never do this. We've lost this kind of game so many times. I don't care this was ugly. I don't care that this was we got shut out in back-to-back first halves. Like they're 5-1 with the playoff in front of us, and I understand that. And then there's the other path. They're like, it's gonna come back to bite us. This is awful. The offense cannot keep putting the defense in this bind. Blah 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 blah. And they're like, the sky is falling, and they can't enjoy like the wins because ultimately that is what it's about. Like it's about ultimately winning these football games, regardless of how ugly it is. I am so curious because if you beat Bama ugly after beating Florida ugly, like what if the offense isn't great still? Like what if the offense is actually kind of still stuck in the mud in a lot of this game? But Dylan Sampson has the best game he's ever had as a Vol, and Tennessee actually runs all over Alabama, but it's just not fun. They do it in a really not fun way. And it's like 27-23, and Bama has the ball late, and Jalen Milroe fumbles into the end zone or something, so Tennessee escapes. And then are the calls still going to be like, oh, I cannot believe Bama outgained us, and we were on the ropes, and we got away with it again. Like, I am curious what the reaction is going to be, because Tennessee could absolutely get away from winning this game in an ugly fashion, because Bama has been in ugly games a lot already this season, and I think this is not the same Bama. Like this could absolutely be an ugly Tennessee win again, and I wonder how Tennessee fans take back-to-back Tennessee wins over their rival in really ugly fashion with the offense. Because I have a theory. Do you know what's not fun as a fan? The defense being really good and the offense not. Like I think so many fans would just rather win games or even lose games 52-46 than lose a game 27-23 and the offense sputters for the defense is good. I think that's the problem. Is the fans have been they felt what 2022 was like, even with how bad that defense was for the majority of the year. Fan optimism was through the roof. We can beat anybody. We're going into Georgia. We can beat Georgia. We can go in and beat anybody because that offense was the number one scoring offense in college football. Now it's flipped where this defense might be the number one defense in college football, and everyone's like, oh, can't do it. It's like Jace Pierce had one of the best plays you'll see a defensive end make all year long, forcing a fumble at the one. It's fun. The defense is really good. Boot Carter is awesome as a star. Like this defense is great. You might not see a Tennessee defense this good ever again in your lifetime. You never know. I don't know. It's the best.
The absolute in this whole just.
It's the best defense in the 21st century. It's the best defense in the 21st century for Tennessee. You're going to lose so many of these guys in the defensive line next year to the draft. Like Pierce is gone. Lott's gone. Thomas is gone. Bailey's gone, I think. You just keep going up and down the list. They're gone. Like you're going to have to replace a bunch of dudes, and you've recruited well, but it's going to be a very, very different line. You're never going to have this amount of depth on the defensive line that you had this year. Enjoy that part of it because I do think this floor is so high with this Tennessee team because of what the defensive line depth actually is. Like it's kind of crazy, but if you look around college football right now, what's winning more than anywhere else? Teams that have a great defensive line. These offensive lines are not good all across the sport. Quarterback play is not good all across the sport right now. If you have a defensive line like Tennessee's and a scoring defense like Tennessee, you're going to be in every game, and you might be in a lot more ugly games. I'm just curious, like, are you going to enjoy any of this? Folks, you're 5-1. Enjoy some of this. You might win ugly against Alabama.
I mean, that was a lot. I would just say I agree with you.
I have like 5 different things I wanted to say, across all 5 different talking points Chase just went through. So I'm just like,
I agree with your sentiment.
Built different.
I agree with your sentiment that fans should have enjoyed the win on Saturday.
That's all you got from that? Oh,
I mean, you just said so many things, and so many of them directly contradicted the things that you said, not only yesterday, but literally 20 minutes ago on the podcast. And I'm sure you'll have different opinions on them by Thursday, so I'm just not going to hit on all of them. But I agree, fans should have enjoyed the win more. I will say, if they win ugly on Saturday, I don't think it'll matter. I think the win ugly upsetment comes off losing a game that way and being 2 touchdown favorites against Florida, where getting through Alabama, beating Alabama as underdogs, I don't really think it'll matter how it looks. I think you'll see a whole lot less of that.
I hope so.
No, yeah, it'll all be positive. Like
Nagging.
if the defense wins this game with huge plays, like that'll be the noise. It won't be, oh, Nico struggled again. And honestly, if Tennessee wins this game, there's 90% chance in my mind that that's how it goes. Is that, like I said, Milroe falls flat, defense dominates, makes some big plays, flips field, stuff like that. So
Can we also make Jerron McCoy the permanent punt returner? He's got juice back there. It's time to make the change full time.
Well, he was the only one that returned punts in this game, so it
yeah, but he actually goes, he attacks. Like he's actually like he's aggressive. He's an aggressive punt returner. I miss D. Williams every week, and we took him for granted. He should have gotten an 8th year of eligibility, 9th year, whatever. He should have. The Cam Rising rule should have applied to D. Williams. He should have been allowed to be the Tennessee punt returner for as long as he wants.
I cannot believe Cam Rising has another year potentially.
How's that possible?
It's so stupid.
He shouldn't come back. I would move on.
He should
right?
be banned from college. Like no, you can't. Don't care.
Wow.
He's
banned.
soft. Like, what is this?
I think year 8's when it really. I think year 8's the year. Cam Rising, year 8.
He's looking more comfortable and confident in the offense. I think this is the year things click.
I think Florida State needs to get in on the Cam Rising sweepstakes next year. 2025 QB1. Cam Rising, Florida State.
Mike Norvell and Cam Rising have their last year together.
Ooh.
Because Norvell ain't coaching after that year.
Ooh.
If they had Cam Rising next year, it ain't working. I'll tell you now, it's gonna be a disaster.
Yeah, I don't think Cam Rising. If Cam Rising plays another year of college football, but also I don't if you're a Ute fan, I'm losing my mind. Like no, like I am emailing Kyle Whittingham. No, you don't get to do this. Like you have to turn the page. I don't care. Like wish him the best, but it can't be here. We cannot do another year of like, is he gonna play? Is he not? And bank our whole season on this. That's insane. You can't do it again.
So much worse is because literally every week it's like, oh, he's a game time decision, and then he'll go through warmups and then magically be inactive.
You know who else is a game time decision of I'm a Utes fan? Me. I'm a game time decision of watching this game.
Yeah.
Golly, there's a lot more stuff to do in Salt Lake City.
But while we are finding years of eligibility for people who don't need more years of eligibility, NCAA, you got more of those years of eligibility for Keenan Pili?
Yeah. The Dave Chappelle.
Yes, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
You got any more of those for Keenan Pili? He's only played 6 years, maybe 7.
No, I mean it might be Cooper Mays for me. Like it might be Cooper. It might be like
path to that.
Yeah. There's some other options.
Cooper Mays would be generational for Tennessee to come back.
Yeah, like Cooper, one more
10-year deal.
Yeah.
College football is going to be that in 30 years. It's going to be like players getting contracted.
Let him get his doctorate. Come on, Cooper, Dr. Coop. As long as he wants to be here, like Cooper Mays thrive as the longtime center. I don't know.
Kentucky basketball players are going to have so many degrees in agriculture in 25 years. I reference whatever y'all said. I can tell.
I have no idea what that was.
All their one and done players always major in agriculture.
Okay.
It's like apparently the easiest major at school or something.
I mean, you would know that because you're a Zoysia guy. Like you were talking turf this week. Are you a St. Augustine grass kind of guy? Are you a Zoysia? Are you a fescue?
I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. For the yard, for golf course, for football
yard,
field.
Definitely yard. Like in your ideal house here, or looking 10 years from down the line, Ryan. Are you going? Which way are you going?
Field turf.
I like the fescue. Yeah,
fescue's pretty good. Did you say field turf, Jack?
There's someone in my neighborhood in South Knoxville that has field turf as their yard, and it's pretty funny. It looks good.
I like it in the back. I would do something like that in the back. Like if you fenced in area, turn the backyard into a field turf. I think that'd be cool. But front yard, you gotta have something. I like the crunchiness of the St. Augustine. A lot of downtown Atlanta has it. I like the crunchy feel of the St. Augustine.
Fair enough.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.